for this research project, we had 3 researchers, Tatiana Felt, Elizabeth Neild, and Alex Marshall Snyder. So for our research, we wanted to focus on modalities, or the format in which a course is taught. Modalities can range from online, face-to-face, hybrid, synchronous, asynchronous, but for our research project, we focused on comparing an online modality versus face-to-face and how do the success rates compare. So we had 3 main research questions. Is there a difference in means of grades for English 1010 taught by the same professor among students in an online course versus face-to-face course? Do the delivery methods influence the performance of the students in English 1010? And which instructional method would be preferred for this course? So for our methodology, we selected English 1010 as our course because we had an instructor who taught both a face-to-face section and an online section. Now our population wasn't quite large enough, so we pulled data from both the fall 2020 semester as well as the spring 2021 semester. So for our data collection, our courses were identified within Snow College's SIS, or Student Information System, which is Banner. The final grades were obtained and imported into Excel for analysis. And then we went through and removed the students' names or personal identifiable information just to make sure that we fell within FERPA compliance. Students who had earned W grades or who had dropped late in the semester, those students were removed from the analysis, as well as students who had received I or incomplete grades. So this sampling was random. No single person took the course twice using the 2 different delivery methods, so the groups of students are independent. So we needed to convert our letter grades into grade point values, so we pulled Snow College's standard policy for their grade conversions, and we input that data into our analysis. And our 2 hypotheses are our null hypothesis, which is that there will be no significant difference between the mean scores between face-to-face versus online. And then our alternative hypothesis is that there will be a significant statistical difference between the 2 modalities. Right here we have our box and whiskers plot. As you can see, our mean grade for the face-to-face is a 2.0, which equates to a C grade. And for online, we have the mean set as a 2.4, which is a C+. You can see that the lower whisker was absorbed by our lower quartile in the face-to-face, which indicates that many of our students scored between a 2.2 C grade or an F grade. Additionally, fewer students scored in the upper quartile, a B+ to an A grade, compared to the lower quartile. I would be concerned since a large population of students are dropping into that lowest observation or lower quartile range. So we know that a lot of students tend to struggle with this class. For our online, we have a broader range from 4.0 to F, as there are no whiskers visible. Right here we have our descriptive statistics. We can see that our mean for face-to-face is 2.03, our mean for online is 2.38, and our standard deviations, which indicates the spread from the mean. And then we have a graph to support our data, just showing the 2 means. And then right here we have our t-test that we ran. As you can see, our degrees of freedom is 81, so our population was 83, so n minus 2, that gave us an 81. And our t-statistic, we can see that if we take the absolute value of the t-stat, so 0.958 positive, we can see that it falls within that t critical two-tailed value. So that indicates that this is that there is no statistical or significant difference between the 2 modalities. Additionally, we have our p-value. When we started, we chose a p-value of 0.05, and as you can see, our p-value is well above 0.05 at 0.34. So this indicates that we need to retain our null hypothesis. And then right here we have just some of our work just showing how we, came up with our results. Additionally, because that 0.953, our t-value, is within that critical value, we can say with 95% confidence that the result is not significant. And then we have some additional data just in our slides to show. So then we go into our correlation coefficient. So teaching English 1010 in either modality, the data shows that students had similar GPAs. They weren't significantly different. And right here you can see in the Cohen's d graph that our two bell curves, they're very close to one another. They overlap significantly. So we can say that our groups, since our groups overlap, we can also state there is no significant difference between the two modalities. Okay, so our results, by conventional criteria, this difference is considered to be not statistically significant. We are going to retain our null hypothesis. Our two-tailed t-test results have shown that there is no significant difference between the mean scores of English 1010 in a face-to-face format versus online. And our course delivery method appears to have no influence on the performance of students as measured by their final grades. So, limitations. Our team of researchers considered only one class, taught by one professor in one college in Utah. These classes were offered during the COVID-19 pandemic, so we have not looked at how many students in those courses got sick and missed their assignments or did poorly because they were, sick, stressed out, depressed, whatever it may be. And then for online students, we don't know who was taking English 1010 as their first online course ever. And maybe this group or that student did poorly because of their lack of understanding in using Canvas, or a lack of understanding, and not necessarily a lack of understanding of the course material. So suggestions for further research. It would be beneficial to compare other courses that fall within these same modalities. So, for example, would the success rates differ if this were a Math 1050 course or a Psychology 1010 course? If we were to run this same analysis with English 1010 at UVU, Dixie, SUU, or Weber, would our results differ? An analysis such as this would help institutions develop strategic enrollment plans in order to gain a higher yield in student retention or recruitment. For example, if our online success rates vary significantly in one specific subject, such as math, perhaps we should pull our resources into developing a virtual or synchronous model instead of asynchronous. Or perhaps it would be beneficial to harness certain software solutions or tools in order to yield higher success and retention, such as certain Canvas plugins. Like with English 1010, they have these different plagiarism tools that they can use as a plugin. Or even offer online faculty micro-credentials, like an in-depth workshop training with Canvas. I know that at Snow College, that's something that when the pandemic hit, switching to an online format was not necessarily within their wheelhouse, and a lot of faculty did not have a whole lot of experience with that. So there would be, a benefit when it comes to Snow College in providing a micro-credential such as, Canvas trainings. But this concludes our research. Does anyone have any questions?